Good morning, fellow educators. For today, I will be presenting to you the reasons and factors on why is it we need a guidance program in a school or in general. To start with, life problems are becoming more and more complex. Traditional mores and personal convictions concerning rightness and wrongness of attitude and behaviors are breaking down. Many diverse factors inherent within our home, school, and social and occupational activities and relationships pull us in different directions. We often find ourselves in such a state of confusion and bewilderment that it is difficult to steer ahead without the help of a proper guide. It has been assumed that more is the advancement and modernization. More will be the need for guidance. It will be needed from the point of an individual, especially the interest, attitudes, aptitudes, personality, and so on. From the view of the society, especially teamwork, socialization, migration, job performance, and etc. The absence of guidance may result all types of wastages. If a person makes the wrong decision of profession, he is simply wasting his energy. For example, if a student having attitude for art subjects takes up science subjects, he is also wasting his time, money, and energy. If all these persons had made use of guidance services, they would have made the proper use of human energy. It reveals that every individual or student stands in great need of guidance service. We are all witness to the increasing problems of millions of children addicted to drugs and alcohol. Alarming number of abused children, teen suicides, gender bias, disgraceful number of homeless, resurfacing of various forms of prejudices, crime, violence, the school dropout and unemployment, bankruptcy of values pervading all over the world, and more so in the third world countries. Many of these problems not only require remedial treatment, but more importantly, preventive efforts of the guidance profession, if they are to reduce to any degree. Guidance helps an individual achieve well in various areas, personal and social life, as well as in the educational and career pursuits, which would ultimately help in proper utilization of manpower. A society consisting of well-achieving and adjusted individuals would contribute more to achieving the national and social goals. Such a society would also have an individuals who are aware of social problems and can deal with them more humanely. So right now, we shall highlight the need of guidance considering some reasons and factors. First one, different stages of development. The bringing up of the human beings can be divided into the stages of infant, childhood, pre-adolescent, adolescence, and manhood. One needs different types of help to adjust with every stage. The maximum problems are faced at the time of adolescence, when there are problems due to physical development, mental development, emotional development, and social development. The second one, differences among persons. Psychology reveals that no two persons are alike, and no two persons get similar opportunities in life. Hence, every individual needs the help of a guidance service in order to know the particular kind of profession for which he is most suited. The third one, changing conditions of work. Gone are the days when a child was supposed to take up the profession of his father for earning his livelihood. Nowadays, professions or occupations have become so varied and so complex that everyone has at first to get general education and then to undergo a long training for the profession to be adopted. He has also to get a special education pertaining to that profession. The fourth one, the educational growth. Guidance is needed for the development of abilities and skills, facilitating learning and achievement, and habits and skills for lifelong learning. The fifth one, career maturity. Guidance is required for the development of healthy and positive attitudes, habits, values, and so on, towards work through broadening aware of the world of work, planning, and preparing for one's career. The sixth one, psychosocial development. Guidance is required for assistance for understanding and developing positive self-image and development of social skills for learning an effective and satisfying personal social life. Seventh one, guidance for good family life. It includes working with parents and children for understanding of family relationship, attitudes towards home, and role of family for healthy growth. The eighth one, guidance for good citizenship. Guidance creates an understanding of social cultural values and awareness of social issues, concerns and problems, overcoming prejudices, developing right attitudes and values of cooperation, tolerance, righteousness, and social justice for peace and equality, promoting ideas and values of democratic and secular constitution, and promoting unity and national integration. The ninth one, guidance for channelization of manpower requirements. Efforts at development and channelization of individual potential with a view to meeting manpower and social requirements for national growth and betterment of the society. The next one is the proper use of leisure time. Today, many individuals waste their precious times with a lot of unhealthy activities. People need to be guided to use their leisure time profitably. Proper balancing of work and family is also important. Many youngsters roam around the streets with nothing to do, having no purpose in life, waste away their health and time through drugs, alcohols, loneliness, and so on. Guidance will help them to make use of their leisure time to achieve happiness, to enhance their education and career advancement. The 11th one, the lack of instructions at home. There is a lack of guidance for the young ones at home. In the past, home acted as the most important agency of informal education. The children followed the instructions given by the parents and elders. But today, many parents are failed in this responsibility. They are too busy in their work and transfer this responsibility to the teachers, who are also not in a position to guide them with their own responsibilities. So, there is a need for guidance cell in schools. And the last one, the improvement in the status of women. Due to the influx of women in almost all spheres, including active defense services, more and more women are taking up jobs. Because of the double responsibility of home and office, women are facing all kinds of trauma, anxiety, and stress. They need guidance to adjust to this changing scenario, especially in a male-dominated society. And now, to conclude this discussion, guidance will be required first to understand oneself, one's talents, abilities, and potentialities, and also the limitations. To recognize and develop favorable attitudes and habits and the elimination of undesirable traits. To develop resourcefulness and self-direction in adapting to change in society. To select appropriate course in line with the individual needs, interests, abilities, and circumstances, and to get information on occupational opportunities and trends and suitable employment. So thank you everyone for listening.
Good day everyone. Now we will be moving on to our next topic, which is the need for guidance at all school levels. The guidance at all school levels, from elementary, secondary, and tertiary, have a huge role in bringing out the best in students. A proper guidance will make them strong to stand in society and make a name for themselves. So here are some of the important reasons why there should be a guidance at all school levels. Number 1, to provide for the realization of student potentials. We all know that the schools offers a wide choices of courses. The guidance role now is to help students or to assess students in planning his or her major course of study pattern. Students can get comprehensive advice on career, courses, and jobs that enable them to make a proper and informed choice and understand what they can do after they are done with school. Number 2, to contribute to mutual development of students and the school. Guidance has a responsibility for developing and maintaining a cooperative relationship between students and the school. Teachers and guidance must be mindful of students' needs, and also, students will adjust in the school environment. They have a responsibility to contribute something to the school. Example of this is that making appropriate use of the school's resources and working toward accomplishments. It will be easier now for the school to provide program improvements because of the mutual adjustment between the school and the student. Number 3, to contribute to the development of the school's curriculum. We all know that the guidance in our school has a record or background of every student. But guidance is not limited to keeping records of students, but they are working on knowing their personal problems and aspirations, their talents and abilities, as well as peer pressure confronting them. Therefore, guidance can provide data that serve as a basis for curriculum development, and they can help curriculum developers shape courses of study that more accurately reflect the needs of students. Number 4, to provide teachers with technical assistance. Schools offers a pre-service training for teachers, but this training provides a very limited experience to the teachers in terms of the aspects of guidance work. Thus, teachers needs the assistance of guidance to the educational program. The guidance assists the teachers in selecting, administering, and interpreting tests, anecdotal, and other types of records. And also guidance suggests or help teachers relative to counseling techniques, which teachers can use in counseling their own students. Every learner is unique, and every student or learner has its own problem, and the guidance helps them to sort out things, which is the 5th reason why there should be a guidance at all school levels. And our 5th reason is to help students with developing problems. Guidance helps students resolve their difficulties, and giving a proper guidance on how to deal with psychological problems which can badly impact their studies. Guidance also makes students better human beings since they are counseled on how to act and behave in a particular situation. Through this, the students will be able to develop certain problem-solving skills which to an extent help them deal with particular issues surrounding their lives. Students talk to teachers or guidance counselor about various experiences that make them uncomfortable. They can openly share problems that they cannot share with their parents. Now, based on the article, that India has one of the world's highest suicide rates, ages 15 to 29. The main reasons include peer pressure, fear of failing an exam, depression, unemployment, and the like. An Indian student or a learner are under extreme stress, trauma, and anxiety related to examinations. Students are thought to be perfect and well-disciplined. As all teachers and parents want, they are expected to perform better. The Indian education system is always under the hammer of being competitive and focusing more on quantitative learning, long school hours, heavy school bags, and improper curriculum. The parents pressure their children to study because of the expensive education and the competition among learners. So their children are expected to perform well. So the parents pack them into a room with books. But this does not work. Rather, this makes the child depressed, which burdens them with fulfilling expectations of their parents. Now, it is very important to know the child's consent. Guidance in counseling is intended toward preventing the child from indulging in wrong decisions and helping the child to choose the right paths in life to be successful in the future. Another study entitled The Impact of More Fully Implemented Guidance Program on the School Experiences of High School Students. This is a statewide evaluation study by Richard P. Lapan et al. The study states that schools with more fully implemented model guidance programs had students who were more likely to report that first, they had earned higher grades. Second, their education was better, preparing them for their future. Third, their school made more career and college information available to them. Fourth, their school had a more positive climate. So the result of the study highlights the important role of school guidance and counselor, which they play in promoting the central education goals of their schools and support a comprehensive guidance program. So the guidance at all school levels play an important role in the life of a student and for the betterment of the school. Now, let's review what are the 5 reasons on why there's a need of guidance at all school levels. First, to provide for the realization of student potentials. Second, to contribute to the development of the school's curriculum. Third, to provide teachers with technical assistance. Fourth, to contribute to the mutual adjustments of students and the school. Fifth, to help students with developing problems. To conclude, guidance helps in assisting the child in the right direction so that he or she is well aware of what he or she wants to do in life. Let them understand the importance of education and guide them to pursue it. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear colleagues, especially to our Professor Doc Amy Del Bellio. This is a continuation of the topic of Group 6, which is Guidance for Effective Learning. And my topic would be all about the classroom teacher as a guidance worker. So we as classroom teacher could be a guidance worker. So if you are also a subject teacher or a class advisor, you can be a guidance worker. So as a classroom teacher, you have a key role in the school guidance and counseling program because it is really connected to one another. Next, the teacher in the classroom must have a maximum contact, or that which means they are the ones who have greater time with the students, greater contact with the learners, in which they can observe students inside and outside the classroom conditions and can track normal developmental maturation. Because there is interaction with the students and the teacher, and the teacher can see the developmental maturation of the child if the child mature at his or her own stage of development. The classroom teacher will be able to support and collaborate with the school guidance committee and the guidance counselor. So as a classroom teacher, if the teacher can see manifestations of the students. Now, the teacher can consult the guidance counselor or in the guidance committee. As a classroom teacher, so must maintain accurate and up-to-date guidance record folder. Especially if you are a classroom advisor, you are holding or keeping records of their guidance folder, individual guidance folder of your students. What is in the guidance folder? You can see there the anecdotal records and the grades also of the students and other observations, achievements that can be noted in the guidance folder. There is a form for that required by DepEd. And as a classroom teacher, you must check and identify manifestation of students with special needs. So, especially if you are a class advisor or even a subject teacher, if you notice something or any manifestations of the child with learning disability, you can report that to, you can report or you can consult the guidance counselor. As my experience, there was a child that I noticed that she is having difficulty in reading. So, if she's having difficulty in reading, so that could probably, she cannot understand my lesson. So, since I have a background knowledge of learning disability, focusing on dyslexia, especially on the difficulty in reading, so I applied to her different strategies so that I can help the child learn how to read and she can better understand my lesson. So what I did, I gave really extra time for her. So I told her that every 30 minutes of the time for the whole day, she will go to me and I will have individual sessions for me. I applied multisensory approach for her, especially also focusing on the phonemic awareness, the sounds of the letters, so she can blend with the letters even though she's already in senior high school, but she has difficulty reading and multisyllabic words. So another, as a classroom teacher, and you can act as a guidance worker, you can make referrals in terms of the severity of the cases. If it's very severe, then you can refer that to the guidance counselor or even a psychiatrist or the one who's expert on that for diagnosis. Another, a classroom teacher as a guidance worker must teach, and added to his teaching as a teacher may also periodically give advices to students for such concern. Because our job is to teach, that is our job description. But before that, we have a big heart to our students to see some concerns and talk to them with regards to their concern. As a classroom teacher, the classroom teacher as a guidance worker must facilitate homeroom guidance program in the classroom. For senior high school, we have 20 hours per session and that is equivalent to 1 hour per week. There are modules which can be downloaded from the LMRTS to facilitate the homeroom guidance program and even the career guidance program. Next, must understand behavior of students because our students, they are really different from one another, right? So like individual differences. So we have to understand how they behave in class and how they react to certain situations. As a classroom teacher, the classroom teacher as a guidance worker, can act as a link between parents and community members or one side and school guidance committee on the other side. So it's like the classroom teacher, she can consult with the parents first and on the other side with the guidance committee and even to the community members. The classroom teacher as a guidance worker must as follow-up activities after students receive guidance or counseling. So if it's done, the classroom teacher can make follow-up to the guidance counselor with regards to the student. As a conclusion of my topic, I could say that as a classroom teacher, he or she helps the students in terms of analysis with the strengths and weaknesses, okay? As a classroom teacher, I can say that she or he helps to formulate the guidance situations of students who need assistance in educational, vocational, personal, and etc. And the last, devise of certain action plans which can be realized the student's potential to the fullest under the most favorable conditions. So, as a classroom teacher, we really play a big part in guiding our students. I will end my topic with the saying, teachers are regarded as guidance workers. This is a concept acceptable within the broader meaning of guidance. They are the key persons in the guidance program in the classroom. By Anna Willis. Thank you for listening.
So good morning to each and everyone. Good morning, classmates, and to our advisor, Ma'am Delio. So my topic for today is about guidance services. But before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Marin M. Pendon. I'm currently connected at Pedro Mariscal National High School, Senior High School Department. So what are the guidance services that we offer in the Department of Education? Not only that one, but all schools. So we have our all group of the company, no? Hindi lang sa school lang ko. Okay? Other organization also, they can offer guidance services. So number one is individual inventory. So information gathered about each individual in school that can be available for reference. Okay, can be used for proper diagnosis. So individual inventory. So kailangan talagang like the guidance counselor were asked personal data on this particular person, diba? Why? Because for references. So it can be used for proper diagnosis, no? Predicting progress and behaviors, accurate placement, and program evaluation. Like, say for example, psychiatric or maybe we don't know that on her genealogy or meron siyang kalululuhan niya, meron pa talagang problema ito, anxiety or depression. So, it could be parang mapasa yan sa mga third or second generation ng mga apo. So, isa din yan is to analyze, no? Analyze na, ay, may problema yan kasi nga meron na something sa behavior sa kanyang mga kaluluhan, no? So, accurate placement and program evaluation. So, this can include the PDS, okay? PDS, like anecdotal report. We're doing this one, anecdotal report. For example, may nag-aaral ng estudyante, so we can make anecdotal report, anecdotal record, no? Rating skill, checklist, autobiography, self-expression, essay. So, I think this one, self-expression essay, this is magsusulat lang yung, for example, I'm a guidance counselor, so i-ask ko yung estudyante na, okay, magsulat ka dyan kung anong gusto mo isulat, or you can express through essay writing, no? Self-description essay, like, okay, like, sabihin mo, tatanong mo kung ano ba mga likes or like dislikes ng isang bata na to. Like, yan, mag-open ka ng conversation. So, diaries is very important. Like, at the end of the day, susulat ka kung anong nagawa mo or nangyari sa the whole day, no? Questionnaires. You can also give questionnaires to your student, like, i-check lang yan nila yan or i-take, no? Structured interviews, disciplinary decision, and test results. So, number 2 is information. So, nobody can make appropriate decisions without pertinent information, which is really true. So, we have personal, social, no? How one can improve oneself or relationship with others through academic, educational, vocational, occupational. So, major methods of dissemination. So, yung information na to, it could be, yes, printed materials, small group guidance activity. Okay, this is about guidance counseling. They're going to give symposium, no? Homeroom classroom guidance, seminars, symposia, conferences. Why we have to give information to our learners? It's because, diba, para mag-guide din sila, no? Kung ano ang mga ginagawa just to improve their self-esteem or their selves, like makukuha sila ng lesson out of the information that you are giving them, no? But for me, this printed materials is also okay sa akin kasi nga makikita, mababasa nila, especially may mga caricatures, so it can capture the attention of the readers, no? Now, the third one, services that we're going to give is counseling, no? So, we have academic, vocational, personal, social, diet. So, academic, of course, we're giving counseling to those individuals who got or who has failing grades. So, vocational, what are their vocation, what they really wanted to do or to go on college, diba? So, itong guidance services din, diba, as what I have observed, may mga may mga schools na pumupunta sa school namin, especially the grade 12 and the grade 10, they're giving information on that particular school, what are the courses that being offered in their school. So, yun, meron din ganito, doon persona, social, yung interpersonal relationship mo, di ba, yung parang may problema ka, stress ka. Diet, of course, we are giving health modification, no? Especially if you are gusto mong maging, di ba, pag anorexic, may problema din yan. Pag bulimic yung isang estudyante mo, may problema din sa pangingisip yan. So, crisis counseling, what we are doing this psychosocial first aid, di ba? What we are experiencing now, we are experiencing crisis. Bereavement, for example, loss of a father, mother, sister, or friends, no? So, nagka-counsel din tayo. Pastoral, of course. Leisure counseling, addiction counseling. So, those are the things that we are giving counseling, no? Addiction counseling, if na-addict ka na sa ML, diba? Why? Pag na-addict ka sa ML, wala ka ng concentration sa class mo, sa grades mo, diba? And then the counseling process is there. So this is the counseling process. And one is, of course, as a counselor, we are going to build a relationship building. So mag-i-establish ka talaga ng rapport when you start counseling to this particular student. Like, i-ask mo muna siya with non-judgmental. Hindi ka judgmental yan. Okay? Now, assessment and diagnosis. So, after you build a rapport, you get all the information of your student. So, that's the time that you are going to assess and diagnose. Okay, so after na find out mo na kung ano yung na-assess mo at saka diagnosis mo, so that's the time that you are going to formulate your goals. So, at the end of 1 week, this student will be able to etc. etc. Then, kasi pag may goals ka, dapat kasi yung goals natin is smart, no? Dapat talaga attainable yan siya. And that's the time that you will make your intervention and problem solving. So, ano ang gusto mo mangyari para ma-intervene yung kanyang problema. Then after that, if the learner is able to cope up with the, kumbaga, na-met mo na yung goals mo, so that's the time that ma-determinate na yung process na yan. So, mag-e-end na yan, and then you have to follow up, no, consultation after maybe 1 month na kukumustahin mo yung client mo or yung learner mo kung ano nangyari sa'yo, may mga changes ba sa mga ginawa mo before, or may mga positive ba na yung positive feedback. So, kung wala naman, then you can parang i-reassess mo na naman na maybe mali yung intervention na ginawa mo. Okay? Now, Number 4 is consultation. Allows work with clients to be facilitated. So in the school setting, counselors consult with administrators, teachers, students, parents, and other stakeholders. So consultation, say for example, nag-away yung dalawang estudyante mo. Tapos, you will seek consultation to your counselors, to your principals, and the advisor or the advisors on the particular students. Kunyari, sa ibang section naman, no? And of course, the parents. So, importante talaga, pag nagka-counseling ka, nandoon yung mga minention ko, in order for them to solve the problem. So, ano ba? Di ba, mag-i-investigate kayo? Kasi nga, nalaman mo kung ano ang problema at dapat talaga ma-solve yung problema na yun. Now, the 5th one is the prevention and wellness. So, we have 3 levels of prevention. First is the primary, the people who are not presently afflicted by the disorder. Okay? Secondary is focuses on those who are experiencing early onset. So, this primarily maybe yung parang hindi masyadong malala yung mga problema nila. But the secondary is maybe meron na siyang na-experience na early onset. Kung nangyari yung behavior nila, yung nakikita mo, bibo yung bata na to. But ngayon, hindi na siya naging bibo or merong changes, no? And tertiary deals with individuals already afflicted by disorder and are being helped to manage. So, yung tertiary na yan is siguro pag masyadong sobrang talaga yung mga behaviors na ipinapakita ng isang estudyante. So that's the time that we are going to see psychiatric evaluation. In order for them to help and to manage the behavior or the problem or disorder. Maybe we have different disorders. No? We have, like for example, bipolar, manic depressive, that is bipolar. So we have also this anxiety disorder only. Yun yun sa psychiatrist na yun. Okay, for efficacy, prevention program should be implemented before onset of indicators. So dapat yung hindi pa nagpapakita ng mga manifestations na ganitong, kunyari yung bata is merong changes lang na konti, so dapat i-address na yan. No? I-address na yan talaga na meron talagang problem yung isang bata na yan para hindi siya lalaki, which is magsisika sa tertiary prevention. So, target population at individuals consider the uniqueness of the population under the environment. Of course, you have to consider also kung may mga beliefs sila, di ba? Kaya nga ano itong kanang psychiatric at saka yung mga kalakitang nabuang kay tungod kinakitaw ka ng aswang o mga bitaw na nasapian, no? So, wellness. Counselors should be involved in programs promoting lifestyle change for healthy living. Of course, the counselors were giving dietary restriction, not dietary, but healthy living, such as we are imposing the healthy lifestyle. Let our children do physical activities at school, like jogging, walking, or anything, no? And then we always remind them that too much exposure of the gadgets, no? Kasi nga nagiging addiction na sila. Addictive, I mean. Okay, so we have number 6, which is referral. The tapping of agencies, organization, or individuals that may be or better assistance of the counselor's resolution of the problems and attainment of cause. So we have to tap, no? Other agencies, organization, or individuals. Say for example, so may mga youth organization which can, yung mga bata nag-create ng, di ba? May masasabihan silang na problema, di ba? And then, organizations, agencies, pag hindi na kaya, no? Better assistance. Say, for example, like what I have said before, no? Psychosocial first aid na in-introduce ng DepEd ito. But, itong psychosocial first aid na to, meron talagang dati yan kasi nga sa mga crisis, sa mga pandemic, this linog, no? Kana siya. Appeal po na siya sa mga referral, no? Dapat i-refer na to if we cannot able to kanabitang di na kaya siya. Then placement, the facilitation of clients' movement to the appropriate education, occupational level of program, entry into appropriate co-curricular and extracurricular activities, pursuit of the further education and other employment upon leaving the institution. Say, for example, like, ginaguide nyo yung estudyante mo kasi nga that particular student is very good at, for example, mathematics, science, di ba? So, if they can't afford na if the parents can't afford to let them go to their children to that particular college, so why not kanang kukuha ng scholarship program? So, yan. No? Aside from that, no? Yung mga curricular activities, pwede naman ang i-guide mo or ask mo or sasabihin mo the importance of this para lang at least ba yung bata mo ay they are prepared, no? Prepared enough. Now, the last one is follow-up. So, the appraisal of how counselors who have been counseled, placed, or referred to have graduated are doing to determine whether further assistance is necessary. So, of course, kailangan talaga ng follow-up. Why? Because, baka naman, yung binigyan mo ng treatment or binigyan mo ng counseling, parang hindi naman effective yun. Or kukumusta mo lang sila, how are you na? So, after those counseling, may nagbago ba? So, this is very important, no? Kasi pag hindi pa siya okay, or parang hindi pa siya so, pwede nating bigyan ulit ng further assistance, kung posible. So, as a counselor, this is what I hope to be, no? So, I am a lighthouse rather than a lifeboat. I do not rescue, but instead help others to find their own way to shore, guiding them by my example. So, this is according to Anon. So, this will be the end of my report. I hope that you learn out of something about my discussion. So, thank you and have a good day.